Hello and welcome to Broadfield Stadium as Brighton and Hove Albion host West Ham United in the Barclays Women's Super League. It is a crisp, sunny October afternoon. It provides the perfect backdrop for match day 2 of what looks already to be one of the most competitive campaigns in the top tier of the women's game. Brighton got off to a great start away at Everton last weekend. Boss Melissa Phillips will be hoping her side can build upon that start with 3 points at home today. The Seagulls were bottom of the home form guide last season, something Phillips will have to address for Brighton to meet the ambitions that they've set for themselves. Meanwhile, it's Rihanna Skinner's first away game in charge of West Ham. Her managerial debut ended in a 2-0 defeat at home to Manchester City. With 3 games in the space of 7 days, Skinner said in the week she's aiming to build confidence and consistency. With just 1 win in 13 league matches dating deep into last season, a win today would certainly boost morale. Let's take a look at how the teams are going to line up today. Brighton handed 6 debuts last Sunday. It's an unchanged 11 for today after a busy summer with 13 players departing the club and 11 joining. Building cohesion will be an early priority, which is reflected in the decision to stick with the same starting lineup. For the visitors, there is 1 change in midfield, Anouk Denton in for Mel Phillips, who is named on the bench, as is Emma Harries. The former Reading player loves facing Brighton. She's been involved in 4 goals across her last 3 games against today's hosts. And we are the earliest kickoff of another busy day in the Barclays Women's Super League and Championship, and we have got lots coming up for you on FA Player today. Amy Fern is our referee for this afternoon, as the 2 captains undertake the coin toss, which seems to have gone the way of the visitors. Now, Brighton have an absolutely fantastic record against West Ham. They've won their last 6 against the Hammers. It's their longest winning run versus any other side within the Women's Super League. And the hosts will be looking for consecutive league wins for the first time since March 2022. That's a 30-match long stretch for the home team. You can see kitted out in their traditional blue and white kit. The team huddle is complete. And we expect the hosts to line up in a 3-5-2 formation with Bagley in goal, Bergsvand, Foradostir, Kohlberg, the back 3, with Robinson, the skipper Lasada, Ziggiotti, Bremer and Patterson, the midfield 5 supporting Turland and Lee. It's a 5-3-2 formation for the visitors. Arnold in goal, Evans, Shimuzu, Sissoko, Cook, Smith the 5, with Stringer, Denton and Hayashi, the 3 supporting Ueki and Asayi up top. The latter, of course, scoring twice against Brighton last season. It's going to be the home team who get us kick-started. There's a long ball lifted over towards that left-hand side into the path of Gu Min Lee. She feeds the ball out to her left-hand side. It's a long searching cross into the 6-yard area, claimed well by Mackenzie, the captain of the Hammers. What a fantastic summer she had representing her country, Australia, at a home World Cup, pulled off some heroics for them. She receives the ball back from Sissoko. Then a direct ball through the middle. The challenge comes in. The advantage is played as West Ham switch up over to that right-hand side. A first-time ball into the path of Evans. Evans cuts back. It's not dealt with in the initial phase, and that is a glorious opening opportunity with less than 60 seconds on the clock for West Ham. Brighton failing to clear their lines. They turned up the heat down that right-hand side. It's not dealt with, And Kirsty Smith was positioned fantastically. She almost got too much power with the connection, and that is a massive, massive let-off for Brighton, who play it out from the back under some pressure, inviting the pressure. They concede the throw-in, and it's a bright start from the visitors. Evans, who had that opportunity, takes the throw-in. And West Ham are dispossessed. It's been a decent tempo to this opening 90 seconds of Barclays Women's Super League action. That midfield area you can sense already is going to be a real battlefield. These teams look to seize the momentum and impose some early authority on the game. Brighton win a free kick, which will be taken just on the halfway line, a few inches into the West Ham half. It's played back by Bergsvand, and then ends up back at the feet of the Brighton goalkeeper. And that's really, really difficult for Losada to try and control, but Robinson does well to keep the attack alive. Switching quick feet, and she appeals to win the throw-in, but it goes the way of the visitors. Cook playing it back to Arnold. Brighton's press making it really, really difficult for West Ham to pass the ball out of their defensive third. And they're forced with another throw-in deep in that corner, which will be taken again by Smith, who's had more throws than touches with her feet so far in this contest. Takes a look to her left, to her right, and then tries to find Ueki. A summer signing for the club. She left her Tokyo-based club in the summer, where she scored 81 goals in 152 games. She'll be looking to get off the mark, the Japanese international. She does really well to win the ball back for West Ham. Sprints to keep it in play, but the touch with her left foot is a tad too heavy, and it's going to roll out for a goal kick for Brighton. But some good work from the West Ham forward. She featured in every game for Japan in the World Cup. It could be a shrewd piece of recruitment for West Ham this season. West Ham moving the ball around well. That was a nice passing phase, but it comes to an end, and now Losada playing it back. And Bagney's first touch tees up the second, and she plays it out to her right-hand side. That's a good ball into midfield for Brighton. It was hooked, trying to search for the run of Katie Robinson, who is such an influential player for Brighton. I think the referee just waited to see what was going to come of that challenge, and Brighton take the set piece quickly. Intercepted by West Ham, and that's a brilliant first-time ball, searching for a clever little run by Ueki. It's read well by Brighton. Ueki still playing that pressure game on the Seagulls back three and their goalkeeper, and it's working to good effect. Breathless start to this game. 5 minutes played, Brighton 0, West Ham 0. I mentioned at the very start of the match how important it will be for Brighton to build a fortress here, whether they're playing at Broadfield Stadium or at the MX, where they're due next weekend against Spurs. They've lost 5 in their last 7 home games, although they did beat West Ham in this run. That was back in May, and that was their only clean sheet across 15 home matches. So it's important that that back three in particular, supported by Robinson and Patterson, the wing backs, are stubborn and hard to break down. Asai looking a bit isolated up top. It grants the Brighton defence some time and some space. And Bagley, way off of her line, punts the ball forward. It's a hopeful ball, but with the pace up top of Gu Min Lee, that could lead to absolutely everything, and Arnold needed to be alert to kick the ball out for a throw-in and out of danger and the reach of Brighton's number 9. Kohlberg. The cross comes in. The ball shielded by the West Ham defender and picked up by Arnold, who unleashes a long goal kick, headed away, dealt with well by Brighton. Nice bit of skill from Lee, and the ball is back at the feet of Kohlberg. A really, really experienced back three for Brighton. All have played plenty of games in the different relative and respective European divisions. A real nice blend of experience and talented young players. There's a little rush of head there from Bagley. Poor pass from her, and it grants West Ham the opportunity to thread together another attack of their own. All outfield players now in the Brighton half. Cook, Kueki. Sissoko positioned her body well there to deal with the danger of that direct ball forward, but Brighton win back possession. Ball from Bremer, not quite with the weight required for Turland to run onto the end of it. It's been end to end, the pace and tempo of these opening exchanges. Will we find a moment of quality or cool, calm composure from either of these two teams? Brighton got off to an electrifying start last weekend. Elizabeth Turland scoring 2 goals in the opening 15 minutes. And there's a ball for Katie Robinson to try and run onto a really great 1v1 battle between her and Kirsty Smith. Robinson involved in 10 goals from 17 appearances. No player aged 21 or under has been a part of creating goals in the Women's Super League more than the young Lioness herself. West Ham win the free kick. It's played back to Arnold. As we approach 10 minutes on the clock, it is Brighton 0, West Ham 0. A bright start by both teams so far. Recky dropping deep, sprays the ball out to that left-hand side, but there's a little bit of space opening up, but Brighton get bodies over. Still West Ham attack. Smith with the cross. Should be cleared with relative ease by Brighton, and it is. That's some good play from West Ham in a congested midfield area. They kept the passing short, neat and accurate, and then that space did open up down the left-hand side, and Smith has been looking tricky there, and that looks uncomfortable for Asai. That'll be a cause of concern for Rianne Skinner in the technical area. The West Ham forward staying down as West Ham attack, and they're going to have to do so without their centre forward. Ueke with the shot, and that's a fantastic strike which ricochets off of the crossbar, and the follow-up looks to have crossed the line, although the referee looks unmoved. West Ham appealing, and their appeals pay off as they celebrate taking the lead. Brighton go a goal down here. And it was most unconventional of circumstances. It was Ueke on the outskirts of the area who took the shot. It ricocheted, the goalkeeper got a glove to it, and then the follow-up tapped in by Kirsty Smith. She's been causing some havoc down that left-hand side. Following up on the shot, the hunger and appetite gives West Ham the lead, and Brighton trail at home. And the players huddle together and look to bounce back from going a goal down here after 12 minutes. You can almost hear the calls from the Brighton technical area. Stay positive, stay positive. But that's not going to help their cause, giving away possession so sloppily. And West Ham look buoyed, they look confident, moving the ball about with comfort and ease. And that's the kind of physicality that Brighton are going to need to impose on this game if they're to find an equaliser. Robinson plays the ball back. West Ham's work rate out of possession, so impressive in these early phases. Ueke, influential in the goal, receives it back, looks to play a nice 1-2. She seems to be really settling in well to life with the Hammers. Bagley plays the ball long. Not controlled well enough by Brighton, and it finds itself back again at the feet of a West Ham attacker. Smith, the goal scorer, chasing the ball through to Asai. It's a little bit too easy, it's all a little bit too convenient for West Ham at the moment. They're really exploiting the space afforded on the wings, and with Brighton playing with that free at the back, keeping it quite narrow, it seems to be serving the formation of West Ham well at this stage. It's all West Ham at the moment. Every goal kick rebounding straight back towards the Brighton goal. That was an imposing, really good header from Sissoko to win West Ham possession yet again. The amount of turnovers they've been getting so far this afternoon has been really impressive, which is quite interesting really, because of all the Women's Super League teams last weekend, West Ham got the fewest amount of turnovers, just 2 in fact. But they're doing a really good job here of picking the pockets of Brighton. We won a league high of 29 last weekend against Everton, 6 resulted in a shot. They need to kind of get that work rate and industry into this performance, as a nice ball from the captain is lifted into the danger zone, and the ball is going to come in, the header away, even though it looked like Arnold had it covered. And over on that far left-hand side, Brighton will win a throw-in, which is greeted by a ripple of applause. The Brighton supporters sensing this is perhaps the best phase of play that the home team have had. They haven't really gotten out of first gear so far this afternoon. Appeals for a foul throw. Right in the corner of the pitch, almost next to the corner flag itself, Brighton have a throw-in and a chance to get bodies in and around the penalty area. It's a buzz of action and movement. It ends up with Lee exchanging passes down that left-hand side. And the cross takes the deflection off the West Ham player, and it will be a corner for Brighton. An opportunity to test West Ham from a dead ball scenario. Plenty of bodies in the box for Brighton to aim towards, and it's a deep, deep delivery. It was asking a lot of Elizabeth Turland to make something of that. The centre forward backpedaling. Brighton will be disappointed not to have asked a little bit more of West Ham in that situation. Smith loses possession to Robinson, who finds Zigliotti. Nice turn from Zigliotti. Looked to be a foul. The referee plays on. It's a real physical contest in midfield. It's one that West Ham have won as another good direct ball forward into the path. Ubueke asks questions of the Brighton defence. It was a challenge from Stringer in the middle of the park that set up that West Ham United attack. As Evans looks to press. West Ham boxing Brighton into the corner, and they win back possession yet again. A neat turn, didn't even need to pass, but Evans was expecting the run to follow, and it didn't. But Evans doesn't give up. She's hustling away. Forces Brighton into that long ball forward, and Sissoko gets the boot to it. But Lee is there for the follow-up. Lee with a great crossfield ball into the path of Robinson. Robinson looking to cut inside. Eventually directs it to the wide channels using all of her pace. Gets a shove in the back by Smith, who is supported by Asai. Doubling up, and perhaps Brighton's most lethal attacking threat, Robinson. Robinson doing really well again. Finds her teammate, and that is a fantastic save from Mackenzie Arnold. Brilliant build-up play from Brighton. The strike coming in from Turland, who hit it so sweetly on the corner of that 18-yard box, and Mackenzie Arnold diving to her right-hand side, got a strong glove to it. Brighton's best move of the game so far coming as we approach 20 minutes played here. Brighton 0, West Ham 1, and the hosts have another corner. We saw a deep in-swinging delivery a couple of moments ago. Gathered easily again by Arnold. Sai plays the ball back. As West Ham look to transition through the thirds, gain advantage in the Brighton half. That's a really lovely turn by Ueke. The final product lacking on that occasion. Brighton have Lee on the ball over on the left-hand side. And the first touch is enough for Brighton to win another corner. We've had three in relatively quick succession here at the Broadfield Stadium. The first two failing to trouble the West Ham defence. Boss Melissa Phillips will be hoping for a little bit more quality on this delivery. Her side are trailing a 0-0 against the side who they've beaten on the last 6 previous occasions. It's a different kind of delivery. The left foot drills the ball in. Zigliotti trying to keep the attack alive. Robinson's tugged back. Referee plays on. And now West Ham on the counter-attack. There's a fantastic run by Evans over on that right-hand side. Evans with a good first touch. In a 1v1 battle, Evans doing really well and good defending. That should be a corner for West Ham. Instead, the touch did come off the former Arsenal player. But again, West Ham showing their threat. They can be patient in the build-up. They can move the ball through the thirds, but they can also be rapid and threatening on such breakaways as that one. It was one of their more experienced players, Lisa Evans, linking up in attack. Evans actually made her debut against Brighton for the Hammers back in 2021. Extremely experienced and versatile. She can play in the wing-back role, in midfield. She was on loan from Arsenal. She made that move permanent, and she's a permanent piece of quality in this West Ham team. A team who are leading 1-0, courtesy of a tap-in from Kirsty Smith after Rico Ueke's fantastic shot on the outskirts of the area. 1 goal, the difference between the two teams. It's been a really frenetic game, full of tempo as Brighton trying to find a way back into it. You can see the number of West Ham players teaming up, doubling up, surrounding Brighton players, not giving them a moment to take a look up, not getting a moment to even get the strike away. And Sissoko has really set the tone for that West Ham defence. French international, started out her career at PSG. She's imposing physically. She's a very, very tall player, but her reading and positioning is also really strong as well. And a player who perhaps isn't as imposing physically is Rico Ueke. And a bit of a strange one here is Ueke seems to have been handed a yellow card there. Also a yellow for Guro Bergsvand as well. Ueke has won the decision for West Ham. West Ham have a free kick over on that far right-hand side. A bemusing moment there. Referee Amy Fern issuing a yellow card. It seems, we'll get confirmation of that to you, because as you could see, I think Ueke looked as confused as me there. But there is no confusion in the fact that West Ham have a free kick. They've had a really good opening to this trip to the Broadfield Stadium, home of Brighton and Hove Albion, a team who they haven't beaten in the last 6 occasions. But it's a bit of a new era at West Ham. They've got their new boss in charge, and they've started well here today, and that's a really good delivery. The first phase dealt with, the second not. And they're the kind of deliveries that Skinner will be really, really pleased with. It looked like a combination of Asai with the acrobatic kick, and also backed by Shannon Cook. As Brighton clear the ball away. Cook with a strong header forwards. And Asai has space down the left-hand side. She's surrounded by Brighton players. Asai driving inside, gets the cross in, headed away by Brighton. Sissoko squares it to her centre-back partner, Cook. Shimizu playing it out to the right-hand side. Evans linking up really, really well down that right-hand side. The cross comes in, and it looks like it's going to trickle out. Coming off of the crossbar, in fact. And Kirsty Smith, a winning runner as she has been in these opening 26 minutes. Now, we do have confirmation through of the 2 yellow cards that were shown. Maria Forrestdottir for Brighton had made the initial challenge, and Riko Ueke did get in the referee's book as well, and that was for appealing for the free kick and the yellow card to be issued. Of course, we saw at the start of the season some new rules implemented to try and tackle that kind of behaviour in football. Perhaps a little bit harsh on Ueke, but the yellow card brandished nonetheless. Amy Fern, the referee, imposing her authority as she is very much entitled to do, and she imposes it here, giving West Ham the free kick. Asahi does that so well, dropping deep, winning the ball back for her team, being a real nuisance to have to deal with. She's so strong with her back to goal. She can hold up play really nicely. She can induce those kind of fouls which enable her teammates just to take a breather and then to launch balls like this, where there is some space opening up. Said it many times this afternoon over on the left-hand side. Ueke does really well to get inside, but the challenge is equally good, and Losada, the Spanish international, plays it out to Robinson. Cook wins her aerial battle like she's done many, many times today. But Brighton have some space opening up on that left-hand side. They elect to try and make the most of it. Lee taking a few touches, again surrounded by Hammer's players. Lee got a little bit of space to get the shot away, which she does, and Sissoko is there with a really important block. Sissoko has been anchoring that defence so effectively for the visitors, protecting the slender goal advantage that they have. She's on the ball now for the visitors. You can just see on screen with her notebook, Brighton boss Melissa Phillips. I'm sure she's jotted down a few things in this opening 29 minutes. 36-year-old, born in California, played college soccer and then went straight into coaching. She spent 6 seasons at Penn Quakers before moving to London City Lionesses. She was assistant there to Lisa Fallon, and then when Fallon stepped down, Phillips stepped up, and she resigned from that role to take up another assistant position at Angel City FC. But very quickly, she returned back to England in April, signed a 2.5-year contract at Brighton. She had a tough FA Cup fixture against Man United, I believe it was, before playing Everton in her first Women's Super League match. It was a game that she won, first game in charge in this division, and of course beat Everton last week as well, 2-1 victory away from home. Phillips stepping up into the #1 role. And Brighton's business has been busy over the summer. 11 new faces joining the team. It was a really cohesive start last week, and I would suggest it hasn't been as fluid as they would have liked in this opening half, but that is a fluid attacking move. And Gu Min Lee ruled for offside. That is when Brighton are at their best, that neat, quick, front-footed style of play with a player like Lee, who's always seeming to be a couple of passes ahead from everyone else, a really intelligent footballer. Phillips will be encouraging her side to almost play with those shackles off, to play instinctively and with a freedom. They've got 15 minutes left of this first half, as Cook plays the ball back to Sissoko, and Sissoko and Cook in particular, been really, really menacing in defence. Doing what all good defences should do, imposing that physical threat, but using their footballing brain as well to be positioned well. It's served West Ham to good advantage so far. The long ball forward, read well by Sissoko and Arnold. Really liking their synergy and understanding at the back. A really important triangle, the Arnold, Sissoko, Cook. With Shimuzu as well. Lee bundled to the ground. Physicality from Stringer. Right underneath the referee's nose. Lasada takes the free kick. She joined Brighton from Roma over the summer and was handed the captain's armband. A decision made by Phillips because she felt like with the experience that Lasada brought to the club, the fact she's played for teams like Manchester City, Barcelona, Arsenal, the fact she's won so much, she has so much pedigree. She could bring a bit of winning mentality to the heart of Brighton's midfield. As we watch a replay of an audacious effort, hit rather wildly by Asai. She's the kind of player, if she's afforded that amount of space and that amount of time, she's going to launch the shot from range. West Ham's tactics paying off to good effect once again. They're making it so narrow and difficult for Brighton to play out from the back, although they do have the throw-in, Lasada. The challenge comes in, and Ueke needs to be a little bit careful with the body language and the shrugging, because let's not forget she is on a yellow card after remonstrating with the referee. It's something players have to be acutely aware of. Robinson tries to get the ball around Smith. Smith has had a really good first half for West Ham. She has the ball, taking her time, holding up play nicely. And Asai is just unable to control the football, and Brighton win a throw-in. It's been a really interesting individual battle, actually, between Smith and Robinson. The Scottish international against the England Lioness. It's a bit of a painful bounce off of Smith there. That kind of sums up the opening 35 minutes she's had. She's been here, there and everywhere, and of course she was in the right place at the right time to score West Ham's all-important goal. As another long direct pass forwards tries to set up a Brighton move, and it was almost a calamitous moment for Sissoko. Her clearance ricocheting off of the shoulder of Gu Min Lee, and you can never quite be sure where that might bounce and ricochet. Fortunately, from the visitors' perspectives, gratefully into the gloves of Mackenzie Arnold, who rolls the ball to Stringer. Stringer out to that right-hand side. Lee wins possession, falls to the floor. She's won several free kicks for Brighton this afternoon. Tireless work rate from Brighton's number 9. And this is a really, really good position for the home team. They've had a number of corners so far in this first half. They haven't posed the kind of questions they would have liked from dead ball scenarios. But perhaps now we can see a little moment of quality from Lasada, who's standing over the ball. We've got an in-swinging and out-swinging option over the ball. Lasada leaves it. Left-footed delivery comes in. Important header away by West Ham. It's shielded away and the throw is taken quickly. Robinson hooks the ball, comes off of the boot, off the Hammers defender. And another corner for Brighton, but this time on the opposing side. The sun shining over the Broadfield Stadium. Perfect conditions for a competitive Barclays Women's Super League encounter as Brighton search for an equaliser. The right-footed delivery comes in towards the near post. It's going to be recycled by the Seagulls. And punted away on the volley by Asai. Asai with the follow-up as well. Doing really, really well. The tackle's flying in left, right and centre in the middle of the park. And eventually, the referee blows her whistle for the challenge just on the halfway line. The heart and commitment from both sets of players towards this contest is incredible. And the challenge is enough to earn Asai a yellow card, the third of the afternoon. Vivian Asai penalised. And Brighton handed an advantage just yards into the West Ham half. That's the front two of West Ham, both on yellows now. Lasada feeds the ball to Lee. And they'll be disappointed with not manufacturing more for her team in that position. Lee's a regular for South Korea. She had a really successful season on loan for Brighton and then joined permanently in 2021. And last season she picked up goal of the season for a fantastic strike against Reading. She and Turland will be just hoping to be given a little bit more service, a little bit more productive service at least, particularly Turland, who hasn't had as many touches on the ball in this opening half as she would have liked. Although she did produce the best moment of the match from a Brighton perspective, forcing a great save from Mackenzie Arnold. West Ham in on goal again. Ueki cutting the ball back to Asai. Brighton under some pressure here as West Ham commit bodies forward. Good bit of goalkeeping from Bagley there. Quick thinking as well as she spots Lee. Lee with the ball over the top. Arnold nods it to Sissoko. And West Ham have it covered. Shimuzu backing up Sissoko there, able to get to it. Now Evans finds herself in a more central position, plays it out to the left. I think boss Rianne Skinner will be really pleased with this opening 40 minutes of football from her team. Tough to travel to Brighton. Not an easy place to come, even though the home team's record isn't the best. Facing a side when you know you've got such a losing streak against. 6 losses in a row. She spoke in the week about wanting to build confidence and consistency in her team. For Skinner herself, she was on the end of a 9-game losing run as Spurs boss, a run that eventually saw her lose her job, but recruited in the summer by West Ham, she became their first female boss since securing their Women's Super League status in 2018. They have some defending to do now, though, as Robinson, with a great delivery back, looking for the head of Turland. The attack is kept alive. Now over on the left-hand side, the delivery in. As Bremner sticks out a boot, doing everything she can to get in on the end of the lofted header, and that is as close as Brighton have come in the last 10, 15 minutes to score in their first of the afternoon, and it was Pauline Bremer who came ever so close for the home team. Brighton pushing, causing problems. That's a good ball into the Brighton attacker, Turland. This is relentless stuff now from Brighton. Certainly their best phase of play of the match so far. And that is exactly the kind of threat that Elizabeth Turland can pose. She drifts, and then in those big moments, she's either rising aloft to use her strong aerial abilities, or also on the floor as well. She can be effective with either foot. We have plenty of action for you on FA Player. Spurs are taking on Bristol City at 2 o'clock. You can watch all of the action from there. At the same time, a massive game in the Barclays Championship, 10th versus 2nd. Sunderland unbeaten so far this campaign. They travel to Birmingham City, who haven't gotten off to the start that they and many would have expected. And then at 3 o'clock, you can enjoy Leicester City versus Everton. Everton, of course, beaten last weekend by Brighton, who find themselves a goal down here at the Broadfield Stadium. Kirsty Smith's goal, the difference between the two teams. It's a slow start by Brighton's standards, but in the last 5 minutes, they've been far, far more dominant. Looking to end the half strongly and looking to go in at the break at least level with their opponents. Rashada plays it back. Kohlberg. Linking up with Lee. Lee with a nice turn. And that's another crunching tackle, shoulder to shoulder. Ueke came sprinting in, and Ueke, on a yellow card for some dissent earlier on in the half, is having, I think, a final warning here from referee Amy Fern for Brighton. Another dead ball scenario, one that Vicky Lasada will take responsibility for. Just inches left to the centre circle. Lasada plays it out to the right-hand side. The ball lofted into the path of Katie Robinson. It looks like it's going to have a little bit too much pace on it. It does. And it's seen out by Cook for a goal kick for West Ham. Evans has switched sides over to this left-hand side. Tries to win back possession. She's got the ball now for West Ham. Driving with it. She passes it out to the right, and then offers another ball straight away for her teammate, but it's played back instead by West Ham, who can afford to play the sensible pass, but need to keep a hold of the football with more accuracy than that, as they've gifted possession to Brighton. Lee looking for Turland. There's space opening up on that right-hand side. The shot comes in, another fantastic save by Mackenzie Arnold. That shot came in with quite some power. Brighton coming close again with the strike on the volley. It was brilliant work. The right-footed shot from Bremer. And West Ham's captain saves the day again, preserving that clean sheet, as we are going to have 2 minutes of additional time here. 2 minutes perhaps for Brighton to sustain this period of attack. And they win possession once again. Lee with a nice little turn, looking for the run. Another brilliant opportunity, but credit to Mackenzie and Sissoko. Look at the pass from Lee, and it was Turland again in the right place at the right time, manages to angle and drop the shoulder to get the shot away. Brighton won't want this first half to end now. They have the upper hand and are looking the most likely to score. Sissoko with a dangerous ball, squared along the penalty area. Asai will look to play it back, and she does. Stringer to Sissoko. Sissoko finds Evans, a reliable player. West Ham wanting to charge one more account of their own in this opening half. Evans and Asai exchange passes, and now Stringer getting involved in play. Launches it out to the left-hand side. Hooked back by Smith. Smith gets the ball back. The ball cut back towards the penalty spot, and Lasada read it well for Brighton. And another long ball over the top, looking for the run of Lee. Lee doing really, really well. Switches it up to the right-hand side. Brighton now able to get bodies forward. Katie Robinson links in. And it's last gasp defending from West Ham United. And there'll almost be a sigh of relief for the Hammers that that half-time whistle has blown, and that they go into the break with a 1-0 advantage. Kirsty Smith's tap-in, the difference between these two teams at half-time. It's Brighton and Hove Albion 0, West Ham United 1. Let's take a look back at the highlights for you. The game started with such a fantastic tempo. West Ham asking plenty of questions, and they scored early on. Kirsty Smith tapping the ball in after Rico Ueke's shot from distance. It took a little bit of time for the West Ham referee to blow her whistle to indicate that the ball had crossed the line. Brighton, after a slow start, looked for an equaliser. Elizabeth Turland coming close with an audacious effort from range. And the ricochet coming off of Lee, causing some problems as well. West Ham had their captain Mackenzie Arnold to thank for pulling off some fantastic saves, putting pressure on Turden there to drive the ball just wide. At the break, it is Brighton and Hove Albion 0, West Ham United 1. Do make sure that you join us for the second half, coming up after this break.
Are you ready to see this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hi, I'm Nathan Wyburn, a pop culture portrait artist. From Mariah Carey to Gareth Bale, I've created bespoke portraits for some of the world's most recognisable people. Today I've been sent to the Northwest by the Barclays Women's Super League to paint Liverpool fan favourite Taylor Hines.
Taylor Hines.
I'm really looking forward to this one. Hello,
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Excited to have your portrait created today?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Ever had one before?
No, first time.
Amazing, let's go. So Taylor, tell me about where your football journey began and when was your passion ignited?
For me, it was more growing up and playing in a boys' team. When you're younger, a lot of people would be like, oh, there's a girl in the team. But really, when they watch me play, they're like, oh, she's a girl, she can't play football, when really, we were probably better than half the lads on our team. For me personally, I've said that, like growing up, I had like, amazing support from everyone around me. The lads I used to play football with, my family, and just other friends, and in general, that I've grown up feeling that I can accomplish what I want to because I've had that amazing support, and I still have that amazing support.
Which person inspired you the most growing up?
Male-wise, I think growing up like Ashley Cole.
Away from Campbell, but not from Cole.
And then when I was at Arsenal, it was the likes of Rachel Yankee. I think as well, because they've also got diverse backgrounds as well, for me it was like looking up to someone who's similar to me, really. The roles reversed. I'm now a player, and younger girls and boys are looking up to me and looking up to us players, so it's nice to be that role model for them as well. We have like a better connection now with the fans, and we really try to make them feel that we are noticing them as well at the games.
So you've been quite present about your involvement with the See It, Achieve It campaign. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
It just basically says it in the name. If you see it, then you can achieve it. And I think it's a great motto to have, and people should really take that on board and think about it. And I think if you're enjoying something as well, you can achieve what you want to if you really put your mind to it, really.
What do you feel is the standout attribute to your game?
Probably my use of both feet. I'm technically left-footed, but some people think I'm right-footed because I use both feet so naturally, and I'm comfortable at using both feet.
Have you always played at the back, or has your position sort of changed throughout your career?
Yeah, it's changed. I've seemed to make my way further and further back. When I was actually in the boys' team, I think maybe I was a defender. And then when I went to Northampton Girls Centre of Excellence, I then was a striker. Growing up at Arsenal, I was a winger, and then it was just at a certain point with England as well. They thought probably I was all right at defending as well as attacking.
So you began your Barclays WSL career playing for Arsenal in 2017. Tell me about those really early days on in your career.
Stepping into the senior, the first team, it was probably a bit daunting as well, but that's what I wanted to do and that's where I wanted to be as well. That kind of made me the player I am today as well. By having to step up in an environment at a young age, you have to kind of put yourself out there a little bit and you have to step up to their level, so it pushes you even further. A lot of good memories at Arsenal and a lot of friends too, and some of the girls I still keep in touch with, which is nice.
So when you arrived, did it feel like a big step up?
Yeah, I think so, because when I was younger, we always used to watch the first team play, and it's one of the top clubs in the world, and because there's big players there as well, you think, oh my God, it is a bit nerve-wracking at first, but I loved it because I just got to learn off of all these players, and yeah, it was just a massive learning curve. There was other girls in my age group as well that would sometimes train up, so it wasn't just myself on my own, so I still had my other friends with me, and obviously you probably just stay together a bit more when you're in an environment that you don't really know, but I think over time I did grow into it, which was nice.
In 2018, you moved to Everton, playing alongside the likes of Chloe Kelly. What are your memories of your time there?
Well, me and Chloe were actually friends from Arsenal as well. Obviously I was moving away from home, I was 18. So it was just something different, but knowing that I had Chloe there was nice because I could always fall to her, and yeah, we were proper close.
So you mentioned Chloe Kelly there. Obviously there's Alyssa Rousseau as well, Georgia Stanway. So what are your thoughts on your contemporaries?
I think that's such a nice thing about football as well. It's not just teammates, not just co-workers, they're actually friends for life. From where we used to be and from where they are now as players in the England senior team and playing consistently for their club teams as well, it's so nice to see as a friend as well, but it just shows you how everyone's journey is a little bit different. When we was at England with George Stanway and Leslie Rousseau, we were the bestest of friends growing up in the under-15s. There's actually a big group of us. There's 11 of us, and we call ourselves Good Peeps. I can't even remember where that come from. We've had that group chat and that friendship since we were 14, 15 as well, and we've still got that now.
What do you think of Liverpool as a city? It's well known for its highly committed fan base. Have the fans taken you in as one of their own?
Yeah, I think I feel like a Scouser, but just without the accent, really. I think I've been here that long as well from my previous club, but just actually being and living in the city now, and yeah, getting that love from the fans and also trying to give that love back, and it's just nice, and just little things as well, like when you're in the games that they sing your name and they make a song out of your name, and it's funny to hear because sometimes I'm focused in the game, but the odd time I'll just hear them sing my name, and it's funny, but it's a nice feeling, it's a great feeling to have.
What would your standout moment of your career in Liverpool be?
Definitely securing the promotion. I think because that was my second year, and the year before we came close, but it was obviously disheartening because the way Liverpool got relegated in the first place as well last year. Yeah, when that promotion happened, it was just partying after that, and it was so much fun. And I think also when we did the parade in Liverpool on the buses with the men's team as well, one of the best days of my life. It was just such a surreal moment, just seeing all the Liverpool fans, like not just there for the men, but for the women's team as well. And seeing the support that we had was, yeah, unbelievable.
Okay, I think I'm ready. Want to see it?
Yeah.
So Taylor, it's been really nice to meet you and find out a little bit more about you and your career. Are you ready to see this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cool, let's go.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, you've got every detail on my nose. Oh, that's unreal. I love that. Actually looks like me. Yeah. I'll get a copy and put it in my room.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sandy. I'm Kiara, and this is Save Reacts.
Rebecca Welsh takes the first look at the watch, and Chelsea might be able to win it here. It's Sam Kerr. She's clean through.
Oh, right.
Stopped by Roebuck.
Big and strong
Yeah,
she is.
made herself big.
This is you.
Stop it.
Nah, Sam, that was a great save.
Oh, thanks.
No,
I'm
to like you didn't
was I?
to like you didn't even just pull off a worldie. Oh, nice.
Thanks, Kiki.
Fair play.
We'll watch it again if we have to.
Ropes again.
Ooh. Oh, this is it.
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
it was going to be the other one.
Reaction, and that is a vial. She's just so.
There she goes.
No, that was a great reaction scene.
Yeah, right on the goal line. Alright, this is the other Roebuck show. Oh, I remember this one. Yeah, it was like the Chelsea
Nice.
one. Nice Roby.
Great positioning.
I think it was only like 1-0 this game or something.
Yeah, love the facials as well.
Did well to stay up there.
Yeah, I would have been down. Why is she so open?
Yeah, not very defending, but not here to judge that, are we? But we shall.
It's all about the same. Great save, Rose.
I can't even remember the save that I did. Surely not going to show the goal.
Oh,
Nice, Kiki.
get out of here. I just get out of my house.
Oosh. Sent to the shops. Nice, Kiki. Same big.
Big. And up for the rebounds.
Come on. Straight up. Sponsored by Ellie Robot. Oh, nice. That's
Why did that? Yeah, that looked really weird. And again,
not the
get
punch.
Out, get out of here.
Should get out more, shouldn't we?
That's you. I don't like that. Even that kick looked
Oh, I love that kit.
Nice,
Oh,
Sandy.
no. I'll tell you what,
I mean-
not to make excuses, but those mitre balls when they're brand new are so slippy. Should be caption this, you know. Ooh,
That was great defending by Barry, by the way.
yeah.
They got Barry.
Oh, that's it. Oh, lovely. Well, nice. 3 clips between
Wrapped
us.
up.
Welcome back. We are a game and a half into the new Women's Super League season, and if it isn't clear already, we are set to enjoy one of, if not the most, competitive campaign to date. Competitive is certainly the word to describe the first half of action between Brighton and Hove Albion and West Ham United. Curtis Smith's tap-in from close range, following up a rebound from Riku Ueki's strike, is the difference between the two teams. An opening half of two halves. The visitors started the match the stronger. It took Brighton a while to get going, but they had fantastic opportunities. Elizabeth Turland, Pauline Bremner coming close for the hosts, and Gumin Lee proving to be a really good attacking outlet for Brighton. We've had 3 bookings in the opening 45 minutes. Riko Ueki and Vivian Asayi leading the line for West Ham. Both booked. I wonder whether Rianne Skinner would make some changes at the break, perhaps a little bit conscious of that fact, but she hasn't. We will talk through the starting 11s for both teams shortly. As Bagley clears the ball away for Brighton. Brighton in a 3-5-2 formation. No changes from the team who beat Everton last week. They're on the attack as the ball is played out to that right-hand side, but there's plenty of willing runners, including Robinson, who gets the cross away. Finds Bremner. Bremner trying to link back with Robinson, and it will go out for a throw-in. And I'm sure Melissa Phillips' half-time team talk was about taking that final 5 to 10 minutes of the first half and making sure that the Seagulls begin this 45 minutes in the same manner and not how they started the game, which was a bit slow. So let's talk through that Brighton starting 11. Then we've got Bagley in goal, Bergsvand, Forrest Dottier and Kohlberg, the back three. Lasada, Zigliotti and Bremner, the midfield three, with Pattinson and Robinson playing as the wing-backs, and Turland and Lee, the front two for the home team. West Ham in a 5-3-2 with their captain Arnold in goal, Evans, Shimuzu, Sissoko, Cook, Smith, the back five, who've done really, really well in the opening 45 minutes, with Stringer, Denton, Ayashi, the free, Ueki and Asayi. The centre-forward partnership for the visitors. West Ham have won once in the last 13 games. They will see the next 45 minutes is a real opportunity to showcase the hard work that's taken place over the summer under their new boss, Rhiann Skinner. 20 years of coaching experience, a new task for her to make West Ham more competitive in the Women's Super League. It was a disappointing season, particularly the second half of it under Paul Konchesky. West Ham made the decision to sack their manager, bring in Skinner in, and similarly for Brighton as well, last season was full of change. Hope Powell losing her job, Amy Merrick's placed in caretaker charge on 2 occasions. Melissa Phillips appointed late in the season in April. And plenty of changes over the summer as well. 13 players departing, Sussex and 11 joining. They'll be looking for cohesion to build in a busy opening week of the season. 3 matches in 7 days. As West Ham on the attack. Hayashi getting involved with play. Ueki and Cook battling away. West Ham have been so good in that in this game so far. Teammates backing each other up, hunting impacts to win the ball and make it as uncomfortable an afternoon as possible for Brighton, who will be hoping to get 3 points at home this afternoon, because last season they had a torrid time on their own patch. They've lost 5 in the last 7 at home. Perhaps the second half comeback at the Broadfield Stadium is exactly what the doctor ordered, but they're going to have to find a way past a really robust defence. Sissoko playing the ball back to Mackenzie. Mackenzie with a good distributed ball towards that halfway line. West Ham keep it in play. Asai finds Evans. Evans rolls it, cuts inside. Back to Asai. Asai hooks it to Evans. Good combination play. Getting Denton involved. Denton, the one change for West Ham. Denton's enjoying her second spell with the Hammers. Trying to string things together for West Ham in midfield. They have the ball and they take the throw in into the Brighton half. Asai receives a hand to the shoulder, but I think she was already making her way towards deck. Referee unmoved, and Brighton have the throw in the glorious sunshine this afternoon. There's plenty of action going on across the Barclays Women's Super League. A big game between Manchester City and Chelsea women. Manchester City, who beat West Ham last weekend, are 1-0 up against Chelsea. A fantastic strike from Chloe Kelly. Well worth watching on the FA player highlights when you get a chance. And that's a crunching tackle on Evans. Physicality was a word that I mentioned many times in the first half, and this game has been fizzing with robust challenges. And I mentioned the 3 yellow cards that were issued. We saw in the first round of fixtures last weekend a lot more cards being distributed in the Women's Super League. 16 yellows and 2 red cards, and particularly with Rico Ueki's yellow for protesting earlier on. It's clear that there are many things over the summer that officials will be keeping a keener eye out for. No yellow card issued for the challenge on Evans, who dusts herself down, gets back up, ready to take the free kick for West Ham. Right-footed in swinging delivery. And that's a fantastic header. A brilliant pinpoint delivery, and West Ham double their advantage just over 5 minutes into the second half. A brilliant free kick, a brilliant assist, and a well-taken goal as well. And it is Rico Ueki who rises highest. She's not the tallest player on the pitch by a long stretch, but just watch as that delivery comes in. She peels off of her marker. The marking is lacking, and Ueke scores her first goal for the Hammers. She sees that opportunity, glanced the header beyond Sophie Bagley in the Brighton goal, and the host mountain to climb has just gotten a lot harder. Brighton 0, West Ham United 2. Massive credit to Lisa Evans, who won the foul in a really good position for West Ham United, and then the delivery was absolutely fantastic. But Brighton have an opportunity to respond almost immediately. Turland in on goal. She glanced up to her left-hand side. She could see the run of her teammate, but we pull play back to the edge of the centre circle where there is a West Ham player down. And the first half's energetic and frantic pace seems to be carrying on into this second period. We've played just over 52 minutes. Brighton 0, West Ham United 2. And the referee's going to take the ball back to where play had previously been. It's going to be a drop ball for Sissoko. There's plenty of discussion going on. It is going to be Sissoko to get the game back underway. Evans with space to run into, charging down the right-hand side. She has Pattinson for company, still manages to get the ball to Stringer. Nice play from West Ham, the goal scorer linking up with Asai. That's a beautiful 1-2 and a fantastic strike and a fantastic save. You can see Ueki slamming her fist to the ground. What beautiful link-up play between the two centre forwards. The left-footed shot coming in and Bagley having to dive down low to her left-hand side to get a strong glove to it. Things are clicking for West Ham. And a new recruit combining well with a player who has been at West Ham for over a season now. She was Paul Konchesky signing Asayi, scored 24 goals over 2 seasons of Bayern Munich. Seems to be enjoying playing with Ueki. Corner comes in, it's headed away by Losada. Evans putting just enough pressure on to win the throw-in. Deep in the Brighton half. That's far too easy for West Ham United. The cross comes in, gathered by Bagley, and Brighton just need to tighten things up again. It feels like the wind has been taken out of their sails a little bit through that second goal. The service towards Lee and Turland needs to be a little bit more accurate. We know with a player like Turland, she scored 6 of Brighton's last 10 goals, and she opened her account with a brace in the opening 15 minutes last season. If they can get her involved in the game more, whether it's threading through the passes or the ball over the top that they employed on a couple of occasions in the first half, Brighton might just find a means of getting back into this game. Ueki covered so many blades of grass already. We've still got plenty of this second half to come. Ueki and Asai just standing up and off on this occasion. That understanding is really, really important, and you can sense that throughout the whole West Ham United outfield. And there is that ball over the top. Turland gets it under control and looks dismayed that the decision has gone against her there. The offside flag had been raised, and it was raised with plenty of time too. Again, credit to West Ham's defensive operation. And it looks like we're going to see the first change of the afternoon, and unsurprisingly, it comes courtesy of the home team. Poppy Patterson is coming off, and in her place, Charlie Rule. Joined from Sydney FC in the summer, part of a team who won 3 Premier titles in a row. Boss Melissa Phillips identifying some changes need to be made, and there's going to be a second one as well. Madison Haley coming on in place of Gu Min Lee, who has been industrious and hard-working, and actually plenty of what Brighton were doing right in the opening half had come through her. But Haley coming on to try and make a difference for the home team. And down that right-hand side, Brighton attack. Good defending from the goal scorer, doing so much to great effect down both ends of the pitch for West Ham United. Substitute getting her first few touches of the ball. And a good first impression for the Brighton home supporters. Hallie wins a corner for Brighton. The delivery comes in, headed clear. And now a counter-attack is on for the visitors. Evans making up plenty of space down that right-hand side. Can she find the cross? She can't. It's read well, but the seconds is picked up by West Ham. The shot comes in, it's a good one. It has to be fingertipped over the crossbar. Brilliant, brilliant counter-attacking football from West Ham United, and that shot from Denton wasn't far from a third. Alarming how much space and ground Evans is able to cover. She's had an outstanding afternoon for West Ham. She's going to go over and take that corner. West Ham United look positive, they look front-footed, plenty of winning runners across the pitch. And that should be dealt with by Brighton. It is Kohlberg fending off Stringer. And Sophie Bagley rushes over to gather the ball. Brighton still have half an hour to find a way back into this game. A 2-goal deficit to turn around is a challenge. I can't help but feel if they could perhaps half the deficit in the next few minutes, it will be game on. Good hold-up play from Brighton. Sada played it back centrally so that Brighton can now attack on the left. They come back inside. Zigliotti plays the ball back. Zigliotti, a really creative player, and perhaps one we need to be seeing make more happen for Brighton. Zigliotti was the former captain, of course, last season. That armband has now been switched to the Spanish international Vicky Losada, and Melissa Phillips will be hoping for that leadership to pay dividends in a difficult circumstance like this, where you've played an hour and you're 2 goals down. Losada has won pretty much all you can win in European football. The Champions League, 7 Spanish Cups, 6 league titles, the Italian league title. She's won the FA Cup as well. Her pedigree in the middle of the park is something that will hold value as the season unfolds, no doubt. But someone who has proven to be very valuable this afternoon is on the ball, and it's Evans. She links up with Stringer. Shamuzu, who I really loved watching play in the World Cup. She became the first West Ham United player to score at a World Cup in that round of 16 triumph against Norway. She's so solid, she's so hard-working. She started life as a striker, in fact. She's been doing a good job, which sometimes gets a little bit unnoticed for West Ham United, so I want to shine a bit of a spotlight on her now. Risa Shamuzu, who I imagine will go on to have another fantastic season in claret and blue. Challenges still continuing to fly in, and you could have just seen there the reaction of Stringer. There's the reaction again, she pulls back. Turland, referee allows play to go on, playing the advantage. A little bit of frustration creeping in. The West Ham midfielder doesn't need to get too concerned about challenges like that. Her team are 2-0 to the good, and it's all pressure on Brighton. Captain plays it back. West Ham's shape out of possession. Really, really organised. Headed gratefully away by Cook. Oh, and that's a late, late challenge there. Poorly timed, advantage played. West Ham have the ball on the edge of the 18-yard box, turned and played back. Plenty of bodies in support. And Ueke, who was on the end of that challenge, getting back involved. She's already got 1 goal this afternoon. Opened her account for the Hammers. She wants some more. I do wonder when the ball goes out of play whether we'll see a 4th yellow card brandished. Turland dropping deep, plays it back to Kohlberg. Kohlberg to Rule. Haley with a lovely turn. She's done Sissoko there, and that is not easy to do. Brighton have options over on the left and on the right. The right is where the pass is picked to Robinson. Robinson with the cross. It's headed away by Cook. And then Mackenzie off of her line, dominating. She's so vocal. I think that supplies a degree of comfort to the defenders in front of her, and we could see that there between Cook and Arnold. As Kirsty Smith is down. It looks like she is going to require some treatment, and as I mentioned just moments ago, I did suspect we might see a 4th yellow card, and I'd be incredibly surprised if Amy Fern doesn't go to her pocket. And there is the yellow card. It's going to be brandished to Guru Bergsvand. It was a poorly timed tackle, no malice behind it. And the Norwegian international goes into the referee's book. Brighton are chasing the game, and they're going to make another change. Maisie Simmons and Tatiana Pinto, the Portuguese international, being prepared to come on. Simmons is going to come on in place of the Brighton captain, Vicky Losada. Not the home debut the Spanish international would have wanted, but she's played her part for today. And Pauline Bremer is also coming off, and Pinto will take her place. Pinto, who played every minute in the group stages for Portugal. Another shrewd bit of recruitment, and Simmons, meanwhile, joined from Chelsea and scored her first WSL goal in injury time. A winning goal off of the bench. Goodness me, Brighton could do with her coming off the bench to score. Real concerning signs over on that far right-hand side, as Kirsty Smith is being helped back up on her feet, and it's one of those really, really horrible images you see. It looks like it could well be a shoulder injury, and what a shame to see Kirsty Smith in such discomfort. She has been absolutely outstanding for West Ham United. She has not put a foot wrong in terms of doing her defensive duties, and of course she showed that hunger that you expect when you're a Hammer, to get on the end of a rebounded effort to put West Ham United in front. So West Ham will have to make a change. It's an enforced one. Sadly, Smith won't be able to continue. And we wish her a speedy, speedy recovery. Hopefully it won't be anything to keep her out for too long. And that's really, really sad to see. Emma Harries coming on in her place, the former Reading player. Loves playing against Brighton. Involved in 4 goals in her last 3 games, including a brace in her last outing when she was playing for the Royals last season in the Women's Super League. Reading, of course, relegated to the Championship, and she made the switch to add some real quality to West Ham. She'd been at Reading since she was 8 years old. And she actually made her senior debut versus West Ham 3 years ago. So a real young talent who I'm sure Rhiannon Skinner will take really good care of, because let's not forget, Skinner spent a long spell at the FA developing young players across the England Lionesses age groups of under 19s, 20s and 21s. That's a lovely little back flick to Robinson. But Robinson surrounded by West Ham United players, and the visitors clear the danger.
Yes, come on then, Lisa.
We mentioned earlier on how many more cards have been brandished in the Women's Super League this season, when it's half-time between Manchester City and Chelsea women. City have a 1-goal advantage courtesy of Chloe Kelly, but they are a player down. Alex Greenwood given a second yellow, and that will make the second half a real challenge for the home team. Alex Greenwood, such an important player, and she was given a second yellow. I'm just having a look now, it's confirmed, for time wasting. It's a bit of controversy in that massive game in the Women's Super League, and that'll be disappointing for Greenwood. So I believe she was celebrating a bit of a milestone for Manchester City today. "100 appearances for the club," not the way she wanted to mark it, but we've seen it here this afternoon. Some of the yellow cards being brandished, looking a little bit harsh, but time wasting is one of the many things that the referees have been instructed to try and stamp out, and so has poor discipline. And we saw Ueki, who scored West Ham United's second, yellowed in the first half. We've played 17 minutes here at the Broadfield Stadium. Brighton trailing 2-0 against a West Ham United team who have been hard-working, industrious, and shown quality in really key moments. Ueki fouled. Kohlberg conceding the free kick in another dangerous area. It's a little bit more advanced from where West Ham scored their second goal, but it's the kind of territory that Lisa Evans is going to look to make the most of. Brighton holding their line on the edge of the 18-yard area. The ball lofted in. It's another decent delivery. I think Sissoko is going to try and give chase, and Brighton hoping to hit on the counter-attack. And Shimizu plays it back to Arnold, who's had a far quieter second half. She pulled off some really important saves at important times for West Ham in the opening 45 minutes. Appeals for a free kick after that challenge on Haley. Referee unmoved. Game to continue, and Brighton to carry on searching for a way to break down this West Ham United defence as Mackenzie plays it long, only so far for Zighiotti. Zighiotti with a loose pass, which West Ham capitalise upon. Asai, really good play from her, constructive to hold up proceedings until a few more teammates were around to get involved, and the delivery comes in. It receives a thumbs up from Ueke. The kind of delivery and service she's been having is exactly what players like Elizabeth Turlin need down the other end. But Brighton gifting possession away once again. Another cross comes in. It's a fantastic delivery. And Asai sandwiched between the two Brighton players. She outstretched both feet. And any bit of connection there and Brighton could have been in deep, deep trouble. But West Ham United have produced more quality in the final third so far this afternoon, certainly in terms of delivery. Getting those crosses in when they have the chance. Can Brighton do the same? Robinson, one of their most important players. You feel that if they are going to half the deficit, she will be involved in some means. Simmons has it back to defence. It gets squared by the Seagulls and then played out long to the right-hand side. That's an unfortunate slip from Shimizu, but she recovers well again. And Hayley giving chase to the ball back to Arnold. Hayley's looked bright since coming on for the Seagulls. Boss Melissa Phillips will be hoping that she can cause Sissoko in the West Ham defence a few more problems as the ball comes into the danger area. It's not cleared as neatly as it should be by Evans, but eventually it is. Brighton appealing for handball. They feel that in her attempt to make that clearance, Evans handled referee blows her whistle, and I think, there we go, surprise, surprise, we're going to see another yellow card, and Rianne Skinner showing her dismay and displeasure at that. Lisa Evans in the book for time wasting. There's such a fine line, isn't there, between time wasting and good game management, and it's something that players within the Women's Super League are just going to have to adapt and be agile to, even if it sometimes looks a little bit harsh. These are the laws enforced from FIFA, UEFA, and then employed by the PGMOL and the body that looks after the Women's Super League and the referees. The Brighton player goes down clutching her face on the halfway line. It was a challenge that involved Stringer. There's been a full throttle battle, particularly in the middle of the park, all afternoon. It's not one for the faint-hearted, and it's Giulia Zighiotti who goes down, back up off on her feet. And the referee will drop the ball back to Bagley. And Brighton now with less than 15 minutes to summon a response. There hasn't been too much in the way of goal scoring opportunity in this second period. West Ham took away the momentum, scoring that second goal. And the possession has been relatively even, 8 shots apiece in fact. Sometimes those stats don't quite tell the story of the game, and West Ham's robust game plan coming to good effect. A long ball forward from the Hammers. Harries is there. Harries cuts the ball back. And that's another good chance for Ueke. She came gliding in, making that positive run forwards to get the shot away. And we will see a triple substitution. Mel Phyllis, Izzy Atkinson. So Atkinson, the first of the substitutions. Anouk Denton making way. Princess Adam Ilyui will be introduced as well. And she's coming on in place of the very, very hard-working Riko Ueke. And finally, Mel Phyllis on in place of Abby Stringer. Done a really good job in the middle of the park for West Ham this afternoon. And Phyllis, the former Arsenal Academy graduate, spent a season with London Bees before making her debut campaign in the Women's Super League last season. 25 appearances all in all, and she actually scored versus Brighton in the Continental Cup meeting. An important stage of the game for both teams. For West Ham United, it's going to be all about remaining solid. For Brighton, it's all about the response. Can they, despite the pressure being on, find some cool, calm composure? Can they find a moment of quality? They're going to have a chance from a free kick. Just on the outskirts of the centre circle, it was Hayley who was fouled. You see the number of Brighton players standing over the ball in discussion of how best to use this chance. A big moment for Brighton as we approach the final 10 minutes. If they can get a goal and get this crowd moving, we are going to see a change before the free kick is taken. Be a tricky Sari coming on for Brighton. Kohlberg coming off. Sari scored her first goal for Albion against West Ham in a thrilling contest, a 9-goal game. West Ham lost 4-5. Could Sari prove to be a bit of a key in unlocking some attacking chances for the away team? The delivery comes in, Hayley heads it down, Asai clears for the Hammers. We are into the final 10. Brighton 0, West Ham 2. Brighton had the ball on the right-hand side. The offside flag is up, and that will be frustrating for the Seagulls. Every venture, every move into that attacking third is so, so crucial when you're 2 goals down. It requires discipline. It requires staying alert, but credit also to the West Ham defence who've kept that high line, kept that organisation across their back five throughout the whole of the 81 minutes that we've played here so far. And could West Ham's losing streak against Brighton be coming to an end? They've got a 2-goal cushion, which would suggest so, but you always have a bit of late drama in the Women's Super League. Hayley with a good run. Hayley with a great turn. Can Hayley get the chance away? Good goalkeeping. She's done so, so much to try and galvanise Brighton. She's made a real impact as a second-half substitute. Wriggled away from her marker. Mackenzie coming off to make the block, unable to keep hold of the ball, and Brighton with another corner. Can they make one of these corners count? The delivery comes in, and Mackenzie Arnold holds on to the ball. And amongst a sea of players, plenty of blue and white opposition around her, Arnold, with the kind of composure you need from one of the leaders in your team in particular. Arnold will require a little bit of treatment for that. And don't forget, although we are coming to an end of the action here at the Broadfield Stadium, there's plenty to enjoy for free on the FA Player at 2 o'clock, kick-off between Tottenham Hotspur and Bristol City in the Women's Super League. There's also a massive game in the Championship as well. Birmingham City host Sunderland, one of the few unbeaten teams in the Championship. That will be a really good battle to watch unfold. And then at 3 p.m, Leicester City take on Everton. Everton looking to bounce back from their defeat on the opening day of the season to Brighton, who find themselves 2 goals down here. There's also been over 50 minutes played in the game between Manchester City and Chelsea. City 1-0 up, courtesy of a sublime strike from Chloe Kelly, but City are down to 10 players. Sam Kerr coming on for Chelsea, the current champions, at the break. It illustrates the point made at the very, very start of this game that we have got such a competitive Women's Super League season to look forward to. Brighton finished last season in 11th with 16 points, West Ham 8th with 21. Both, by the end of this 90 minutes, could have 3 points on the board each, because as time is ticking by, it is looking harder and harder to see how Brighton will find a way back into this game. Although some trickery and turnery might help there, some magic created to spur the Seagulls on. Simmons playing it to Haley. Brighton pushing. Options over on the right-hand side where Robinson lurks. Robinson and Atkinson in a decent little duel over on that right-hand side. Kirsty Smith, of course, has done such a good job in that role. Happened to come off with what looked like to be a nasty shoulder injury. And now West Ham can attack. Phyllis let it run a little bit too hard, but she showed the physicality and the sheer strength and determination. She's not going to give that ball away easily. And whilst surrounded by Brighton shirts, the decision goes the way of the home team. Ziggiotti, right-footed. Haley with the knock-on. And Evans, ever reliable, making sure that the danger goes down the other end of the pitch, and Ziggiotti scurries over to take the throw-in and sensing a little bit more urgency now in the play for Brighton. 5 minutes left of the 90, and then we will have the additional time. And judging by the yellow cards distributed, I can sense that we might have quite a lot of injury time. Arnold off her line. Gets the ball as far as the halfway point. Good combination play, and now Robinson has a little bit of space on the right-hand side. Brings the ball back, cuts it back. But Cook reads it, and Cook gets it clear. Now Hayashi, back to Cook. Harries plays the ball forwards. West Ham on the attack. There's options all around, and IEC taking the shot, although perhaps there was a better layoff option to her right-hand side. The shot was unleashed and it was wide and high of the target, and now Brighton can attack once more. Katie Robinson announces their player of the match. What has been a tough afternoon at home for Brighton. It looks like perhaps the home woes of last season have had a bit of a hangover into this campaign. As Sari drives forwards, finds Robinson. Robinson with the cross, cleared by Sissoko. And that's a foul. And that's exactly what West Ham United want at this late stage. West Ham coming into this game having won just once in their last 13 league games. How delighted Rianne Skinner will be with 3 points on the road. A perfect reaction to the 2-0 loss at home to Manchester City. And I think we've seen a really resilient, a really organised West Ham United with some, again, really nice bits of recruitment. I'm really impressed with Rico Ueki. I think she will make a real difference as the season goes on. A long ball forward. The offside trap is beaten. Haley in on goal. But the on-rushing West Ham United defender, again, just showing that complete, absolute commitment to preserving this clean sheet. Rushes over, clears the danger away, and Rule will take the throw in. It's a long shot, ricochets off the back of Sissoko. Brighton still have the ball. Robinson, that's a late challenge. That should be a free kick for Brighton. The game is pulled back. Robinson just ushering that she wants the ball and she wants it quickly. And I think it's Atkinson who's going to go in the book for that challenge. Izzy Atkinson with the clumsy challenge. And maybe a lifeline. Late, and it would only half the deficit. But with additional time to come, perhaps this could be a moment for Brighton. 3 players standing over the ball. Brighton need to muster a moment of magic, a moment of quality. Robinson leaves it. And the shot comes in, struck cleanly, but Arnold had it covered. Had plenty of whip towards that top right corner. And I predicted we would have a considerable amount of additional time. We're going to have 10 minutes here at the Broadfield Stadium. 10 minutes for Brighton to find 2 goals. 10 minutes for West Ham to continue looking and playing in the solid system and structure that they've implemented so far this afternoon. Games are going to last more like this 100-minute spell, and we see another yellow card issued, and this time it's to Risa Shimuzu. Having worked a lot within the EFL and the Premier League so far this season, I must say it was a similar sort of theme in terms of the first opening couple of games. The cards seemed to be brandished quite liberally, but then it settled down a little bit. Whether we'll see the same in the Barclays Women's Super League, time will tell. As we spoke about a little bit earlier on, that line between game management or switching up your tactics and time wasting, sometimes quite narrow. We've seen plenty of yellow cards today in a game that has been a battle, but not one played in poor spirit at all. The Women's Super League continues to evolve technically, tactically, physically, each and every season, and we are only on game day number 2, so much to look forward to, so many twists and turns. But for these 2 teams, the hope that there'll be improvements from disappointing campaigns last season. Brighton have two of their most key, influential attacking players still on, Robinson and Turland. But they're not going to have much of the ball in the next few moments anyway, because West Ham have possession. Evans, who just looks like she could play not only 100 minutes, but 200 minutes. Fitness, stamina, the engine to keep bombing up and down that right-hand side. She's been a delight to watch all afternoon. Incredibly important player for West Ham as Phyllis comes back to cover. That hunger will serve West Ham well, not just this afternoon, but ahead of a busy Women's Super League season. Possession won by Brighton. And it was almost a moment of panic there, the goal opening up for Turland, and she struck the ball, didn't get enough power on it, and Mackenzie Arnold was able to watch that go wide without too much concern at all. 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes almost into the 10 allotted of extra time. Arnold's kick intercepted by Rule. That's a brilliant ball by Rule into Turland, who chests the ball down. You can see the frustration in her body language there, and a little round of applause to her teammate, because that is the kind of move that Brighton need to capitalise upon. Sari looking to apply some pressure, and Arnold's pass again, lacking the accuracy it did in the earlier stages. A bit of tiredness creeping in. No tiredness in the legs of Katie Robinson, though. Takes several touches, then plays it to her teammate. Brighton on the attack. Zigliotti tries to launch the shot. Pinto to Robinson. Robinson with a nice little cutback, but West Ham again there to deny and to stifle one of Brighton's most promising prospects of their means of getting any goal this afternoon. Robinson's searching ball down that right flank, cut out by West Ham, who get the ball long. And Bagley now advances for the home team. Cook deals. So does Phyllis, and Hayashi sprays it out to the left-hand side. Asai under pressure, does well to find Hayashi. To Shamuzi. Evans getting involved again, offering the overlapping run as West Ham make another daunting advance, and the challenge comes in from Rule. Got the ball and the player. West Ham have the possession. Hayashi plays it safe to the left-hand side, where Atkinson surges forward. Atkinson with a really nice layoff. West Ham just happy to look after the ball. 2 goals to the good into the final minutes of additional time. Just need to take good care of it, and that will be against the coaching notes of their manager, Rhiann Skinner, as Brighton have the ball. Play it out to the left-hand side. Evans back to Arnold. It's a slice of fortune there as Arnold looked to play it back to her teammate. And Zari was applying the pressure. It ricocheted off of the Greek international's boot for a goal kick. Arnold will place the ball down on the 6-yard line. Probably aware of the fact that many of her teammates have received yellow cards. They were offering the wide options, but she encourages them to go up the pitch well away from her so she can play it long and out for a throw-in. I just feel like West Ham have done a really effective job in taking the sting out of the game, of controlling it to such an extent. It looks like they might be on course for a clean sheet, although Katie Robinson is going to want to say something about that. Over on that right-hand side, Robinson has some space. She's so effective at doing that. Even though she can have plenty of players around her, her movement and her ability to play and feed in players and enables her the time to get the cross in, but the sliding tackle was needed and it was delivered by Atkinson. Brighton have another chance from a corner. The delivery comes in, headed away by West Ham, falls to Rule, who hooks it back. And that would have required an immense amount of skill and a bit of luck if that overhead kick had landed back with a Brighton teammate. Rule probably not believing she had the options around her, and it falls nicely for West Ham, who have 90 more seconds to see out this trip to the Broadfield Stadium. On course to end a horrible losing streak of 6 games against their hosts. Asai fouls Zighiotti. Zighiotti in a degree of discomfort. It was a tough tackle. She's going to need treatment. .99 minutes played, and it is goals from Kirsty Smith and Riko Ueki that are the difference between these two teams. West Ham started the game brightly. The pace of the match overall has been really, really fantastic to watch. West Ham gathered their advantage when Ueki's shot from distance was poked home on the rebound by Smith. After a convincing start from West Ham, Brighton grew into the game in the opening 45 minutes. And they looked to take that momentum into the second period. But when West Ham scored that second, a brilliant delivery from Lisa Evans from a free kick that she won. Ueki rising highest, unmarked in the box to nod beyond the outstretched palms of Sophie Bagley. Those 2 goals, the difference. And those 2 goals look to be what will secure West Ham their first 3 points of the season. And this looks to be a really troubling injury, head injury for Julia Zighiotti. So, of course, the medical treatment required. Whilst Zighiotti receives treatment, let's take a look at that second goal from West Ham. The assist from Lisa Evans, sublime. Her right-footed delivery found Ueki unmarked, far too much space to take the time required to get enough power, connection and placement to the header. Ueki off the mark for West Ham, having made her move from Tokyo, where she played, scoring 81 goals in 152 games. She signed for the club in September, and for those of you who perhaps didn't watch much of Japan in the World Cup, I can tell you she was a real standout. She scored versus Zambia. She came up with a goal and assist in the 4-0 win over eventual winners Spain, and now she teams up with some more compatriots, including Risha Shimuzu, who again has had another fantastic afternoon for West Ham. And we still have enough time to tell you a little bit more about what you can expect on FA Player this afternoon. We are underway between Spurs and Bristol City. You can watch the full 90 minutes of that one. Also kicking off is Birmingham versus Sunderland. in the Barclays Women's Championship. It's competitive here in the Women's Super League. It's equally competitive in the Championship. They've had a number of matches starting a month ahead of the Super League, and later on at 3 p.m. Leicester City got off to a fantastic start to the season. Can they keep that up against Everton? Don't miss a moment on FA Player, bringing you all the action as we do week in, week out in the Barclays Women's Super League. We've played 102 minutes here and we're able to get back underway. The free kick is launched. The foul in the build-up. Referee gives West Ham the free kick, and I suspect we've probably got around 90 seconds left to play. I'm sure Rianne Skinner and her staff in the technical area will be nervously glancing towards the referee to blow her whistle, because it will be a massive, massive 3 points for the Hammers boss. As I mentioned, she lost her job last season against Spurs, went on a 9-game losing run, and for managers as much as players, it's an important morale-boosting feeling to pick up 3 points. She said there was a lot that West Ham did right last week against Manchester City, missing out. And there's been a lot that they've done right this afternoon as well. Brighton battling to try and win possession. Phyllis drives over and boots it, but Brighton get us underway. But that will be the end of proceedings here at the Broadfield Stadium. West Ham United end their 6-match losing streak against Brighton & Hove Albion. Rianne Skinner picking up her first 3 points of the season. It was a stylish, organised display. It finishes here, Brighton & Hove Albion 0, West Ham United 2. Let's take a look back at the highlights from the game. From the very first whistle, there was plenty of action. The tone was set when this effort was launched from Kirsty Smith, who then managed to get on the end of this rebounded effort to poke West Ham United ahead. We had to wait a little while for the referee to blow her whistle, but the goal was granted, the deadlock was broken, and West Ham United went a goal up against Brighton, who responded well. Elizabeth Turland forcing a fine save from Mackenzie Arnold, who had to be alert to the danger on several occasions throughout the first half. And the second came for the Hammers in the second period. A brilliant delivery from Lisa Evans, nodded home by Riko Ueki, scoring her first goal in a West Ham United shirt. That goal seized momentum of the game, and West Ham United's confidence grew and grew. They could have had a third had it not been for that fantastic fingertip save from Sophie Bagley. The Hammers are up and running. Meanwhile, for Brighton & Hove Albion, their drought of points at home seems to have continued into the new campaign. Plenty for their manager, Melissa Phillips, to ponder over. It's been a busy week in the Women's Super League, one of the most competitive openings we have seen for a very long time. It's been a pleasure to have your company here at the Broadfield Stadium, where it finishes Brighton & Hove Albion 0, West Ham United 2.